the one role I was leading up to was the role in The King and I.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a Hispanic role.
That wasn't Hispanic, but it was another dark-skinned, dusky-skinned beauty. In fact, I remember I was a contract player at Fox, and so was France Nuyen. Beautiful, beautiful girl who was part Vietnamese and part French, who would really have been, it would seem to me, more right physically for it. And she was just breathtaking. And in fact, I thought she would get it. But maybe it's because she didn't have any kind of a musical background, because I know she screen tested for it. I was a contract player, and I got it. No, she was not a contract player at the time. That's the other reason. They tried to use their people. And I, at that time, seemed like the most likely choice. You know, I was the equal opportunity, all-around ethnic person for a long time.
Did you want that role?
Oh, yeah, I really did. I thought it was a beauty. I had seen it in New York. I had seen the Broadway production, and I was just, when I was tested for it, I must have lit every candle. I lit my fingertips, you know, everything, in the hopes that I would get that role, because it was also a very, very important film. And as it turned out, when it came out, it remained a very, very important film, and won many awards, and it was gorgeous, and it's a classic. I saw it recently, and it's every bit as good now, if not better, than when it first came out. So I was thrilled to be part of this huge endeavor. And it's where I met Jerome Robbins, who did all the staging for the musical numbers, and it's because of him, really, that I ended up doing West Side Story a number of years later.
Did you have any special memories of working on The King and I?
I remember very specifically, there were a number of things. It was really one of the last of the big budget movies. The cinematographer, and it was a very famous cinematographer named Leon Shamroy, who mostly did musicals. He was known for his colored gels on lights and stuff like that, and big, big mammoth numbers. And it was the kind of time in filmmaking when you spent months and months and months and months and months filming. Forget the rehearsals, which would also be several months. And I remember walking onto the set in my full gear with that wonderful pagoda hat on, which weighed a ton and used to leave deep red indentations in our scalps. And the headaches, I'm convinced now, fine, after all these years I've put it together, that the reason I get such severe neck aches was from that time. Well, it's a very heavy weight on your head. And but I remember working on the set fully made up, you know, this whole process with the wigs and the pagoda headdress and all that would take hours. And then sitting on the set for hours, going to lunch, taking off the headdress and going to lunch, coming back on the set, and never getting to work that day because Leon hadn't lit the whole scene yet, and being sent home. That's what those films were like. That reflected fully the very old, what they used to call the good old days at MGM and all the other studios, where movies took forever to make, and where a cameraman, a director of photography, had that kind of power. He could say, well, I'm not ready, send them home. We'll finish lighting today, and then we'll shoot the scene tomorrow. And you might shoot 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes of something, before they had to change the camera setup and relight. These were astonishing times, and it was really, that I think was certainly one of the very last, if not the last, of the big, opulent films.